Chapter 2, Section 2.2. I have a copy of my lecture notes on Canvas, and this is the video. So here there are some word problems, or students call it the story problems, and we want to show you how to apply some of the algebra to do some real problems in the real world. The first one is, first they are talking about parameter of a triangle. When we talk about the parameter, it could be any shape. Let's say I have a shape which is a rectangle, and it's like a room, and the length is like 10 feet, and the width is 3 feet. When I ask you to find the parameter, you start from one point, and you just say, okay, you measure, I have 3 feet here, plus I got 10 feet here, then another 3 feet, and another 10 feet, till I reach to the same starting point. So it would be what, 26 feet is the parameter. So if you have a rectangle, I'm sorry, if you have a triangle, let's say you have a triangle, and we give you the measurement, see like 5 feet, 7 feet, or I don't know, 8 feet. You start from here, you want to find the parameter, right? You start from here, you say I have 5 feet from here to here, the measurement is 5. Then I have from here, I walk on this path is 7 feet again, and then I go from here to the original place, which is 8 feet. So what's the parameter? 12 and 8 is 20. So to measure the parameter, you start from one point, and if you have the measurement for length of all sections or all the segments, you just add them all together. Like if I have something like this, this is 5, 4, 8, 9, 12, 2. How would I start it? You start from here. You say, okay, I got 9. Go from here then to here is 8. Then goes down 2, 4, 5, and 12 till I reach to a starting point. See, that's how to measure the parameter. So you just add all these numbers. All right, so in that case, the very first problems where we give you the triangle, but instead of the numbers, we just give you some letters, z, z, z minus 12. So in that case, all I need to do is just add those together. I start from here, z plus z minus 12, and then 1z, 2z, 3z minus 12. Look at these problems here. The length is given is 9. From here to here is x minus 9. From here to here is 3. We don't know this part. Let's call it from A to B. We don't have it. And we don't also have it from B to C. B, C, we don't have it. So we have to find it. All right, for me to find these sections, let me show you here. We know from here to there is x minus 3. From here to here is x minus 3, and from here to here is x minus 9. That means you have to take this and subtract from that to find this piece, like AB. You got to take x minus 9 and subtract it from x minus 3. And now, if I distribute negative 1 here, would make it minus x plus 9 and or 6. That give me the measurement from here to here. Now, I want to calculate this part or find measurement of this, right? From here to here is 9, and here is 3. 3 from 9, they give you the 6. Then all I need to do is start from 1 point, and then it goes 9 plus x minus 9 plus 3 plus 6 plus 6 plus x minus 3. Number 3. One number is 9 times the first number. See here, we are talking about 3 numbers. And we understand the first number is unknown. So why don't we assume that first number is x, because we don't know what it is. But they are saying that second number is 9 times the first one. 9 times the first one. So that means if that is the second one, second is 9x. They're saying the third number is 100 more than first. 100 plus x, because first number we assume is x. So that would be that one. Okay? And sum of all 3 numbers are given in the problems. Sum is given. So you just add all this and you solve these equations. When you find the first one, which is x, you put it back here, and then the second one is 9 times that. The third one is 100 plus that. That's how you find it. So these kind of problems, everything is related to the first number. I don't know the first number is x, but I know the second number is 9 times that, third number is 100 plus that. So you can assume the first number at x or any other letter or n, and then you solve the equations. Problem number 4, you get a better picture when you go online, is they give you a color picture. Here, this pie, each piece of this pie has a percentage of the whole things, okay? So they're saying you have 2x%, 42%, x%, and 19%. So all I need to do is add all this percentage to get 100. This is like if I give you a pie and then say, okay, this is 3%, this is 5%, this is like 70%, and this one is 10 and 12. You understand the total is always 100%. So if I take some of this and put a letter, here, it doesn't matter. You still say, okay, x plus 5 plus 2x plus 10 plus 12 is 100%. So that's what we have in these problems. You have 2x%, 42%, x%, 19% is 100%. So you could remove all the percent. You could remove all the percent. and then you solve the equation that give you the x. Okay, and when you add it, see, it give you 100%. Number 5 is very similar. They ask you to find the parameter. Okay, the parameter is given, it's 139. So what I do is I start from one point and I say, okay, this is 5x plus this plus that. So you start from here, okay, and you measure the length. The length from here to here is 5x, and then plus 7x plus 2 plus 7x plus 4. See, I show it to you. X is 7. When x is 7, you understand this one was 5x. It was 5x, right? So 5 times. This was 7x plus 2. Okay, you have the x, you put it back here. See, when you find the x, then this is 5 times x, or 5 times 7. This one is 7 times 7 plus 2. This is 7 times 7 plus 4. And now to check, you have to check to make sure your answer is correct. How do you check? Now, since you have the actual measurement, you add all 3 to see if the total parameter match what they are coding in the problems. These 2 should match. So again, these problems, there are 3 items here: registered nurse, food service employee, and customer service, right? But they all are related to food service employee. That's the one that is unknown. All 3 of them are known, but they all are kind of multiply or some in relation to this one. So food service employee, if I assume that is X, then they said here, registered nurse is 33% less than twice the food service. See, that's how I came up with this. Twice of that and 333 less. Or the other one is half plus 66. The sum is given in the problems. And if you don't want to deal with fractions, instead of half a x, x over 2 is half a x or 0.5x. So sum of this is 1238. You solve that, you find your x, and then when you find the x, then registered nurse is twice of that minus 333. The other one is half of that plus 66. See, that's how you find it. There are some definitions for consecutive integers and consecutive odd or even. Consecutive integers are numbers that they all follow, like here, let's say n is 5. It's 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's say n is 10. It's 10, 11, 12, 14. But consecutive odd or evens are different. But what is interesting is that both, whether you have an odd or even, they both use the same formula. Do not use n plus 1 and n plus 3 for the odd ones. That's not correct. If you could tell. So whether they say consecutive odd or even, you must use this formula. Let's say my first number is 3. According to this formula, 3 is an odd number, right? What's the next consecutive odd? 3 plus 2 is 5. 3 plus 4 is 7. 3 plus 6 is 9, okay? Let's say the first number is even, like 10. n is 10. What is n plus 2? 12. N plus 4, 14. 16, you see? This formula would give you odd or even. And this is consecutive integer. Let's say I want to use that one. The first number is 11. What's the next consecutive integer? 12, 13, 14, and so on, okay? So for doing the problems here, we gotta follow these two formulas. Now, problem here, they say, sorry, sum of first and second of 3 consecutive even integers. Look, consecutive even integers are these, right? This is the first one, and this is the second one. First, they say select 3 consecutive even. If you select 3 consecutive even, is n, n plus 2, n plus 4. Then they are saying the sum of the first 2 is 126. Like in this problem, if we say sum of 4 consecutive even or odd, then you just say those 4 are n, n plus 2, n plus 4, n plus 6. Sum of 3 consecutive odd or even is 126. And then they're saying, I'm sorry, sum of the first and the second. So you solve these equations that give you the n. When n is 62, when you put 62, what's the next one? 62 plus 2 is 64, 66. Sum of 3 consecutive integer is 90. Consecutive integer, it doesn't say consecutive odd or even, right? Consecutive integers, sum 3. Consecutive integers are these. Sum of the first 3, these 3. n, n plus 1, and n plus 2. Sum of these 3 is 90. That gives you the n. When you find the n, if this is 29, what's the next one? n plus 1, 30. n plus 2, 31. There are 3 consecutive even integers. Consecutive even integers means you need to select these 3 consecutive even integers. Just select these 3. And then twice the first added to the third. Twice the first added to the third, and is this number. See, this is the first and this is the third, right? Twice of these plus the third is that. So if this is the first one, and this is the second, and the third one, twice of the first plus the third is equal. So you solve that, you find the n. When you find the n, then if the first one is this, the second one is n plus 2. The third one is n plus 4. And that's how you come up with the numbers. Okay, before we go over problem number 10, 11, 12, let's say there is a TV for $260. Okay? You go to a store and you want to buy this, you want to purchase this. Let's assume there is 5% tax. 5% means 5 divided by 100. Percent means divide by 100, which when I use my calculator is 0.05. Find 5% of $260. 5% 5 × 5 × 100. 100. 100 × 100 5% of 260 means take 260 and multiply that by 5%, which is this. When you use your calculator, that gives you $13. Don't we take this and add it to that 260? So we take 260, right? And add it to 13, which is what? 260 times 0.05, or 260 plus 13 is 273. You have to pay that much when you leave the store. So you find the percentage of that number, the first original number, and then add it to that. Now, what you could do, see, we are doing two steps here. One is we find the percentage and then we add it to the first one. What you could do, you could take this 260 and instead of 0.05, always multiply by 1.05. That should give you 273. And what's the reason for that? You know, here, if I take 260 out, if I factor 260 out, what you have in the parentheses is this. Now, do you know, if you distribute this, don't you get that one? So basically, we are doing this. Okay, so let's say here, I am making $20,000 a year, and I have salary increase of 7% salary increase. So that means I have to take 7%, which is what? 7% is 0.07. I have to take that and multiply by this 20,000 and then add it to that 20,000. To find my new salary. That gave me $1,400. I mean, 14,000. This is 1,400 plus 20,000 is the new salary is 21,400. Okay. But this is increase. If you want to combine two steps into one, just take that 20,000 and instead of 0.07 multiply by 1.07. That should give you that number. So in case of increase, you take the principal, whatever it is, like in this case is 20,000 times 1 plus 0.07. What if there is a decrease? This is 20,000 times 1.07, right? What if it's a decrease in salary? Then would be, or a cut. You know how they want to cut percentage of people's salary? Then in that case, take the principal and multiply by 1 minus 0.07, which is what? 0.93. This is in case of reductions, okay? Let's say you go to the store, there is a dress for $180 and it said 25, or let's say something number, 27% reduce. You don't see that because it's not easy for people to calculate. They always use 25%, 50% because the numbers are easy to calculate in your mind. Let's say there is 27% reduction in the price of this. Okay, so what is 27%? Is 0.27. So you take 180 and multiply by what? By 1 minus 0.07. 27. That gives you the new price, right? So 1 minus 0.27 times 180. So the price you pay is this, 131.40. Either do that, or normally people do it this way. Okay, what is 27% of 180? What is 27% of 180? So you take 0.27 times 180, and that would be 48.6. And then they take that and subtract it from the original price. Then they come up with that number, okay? See? So rather than doing 2 steps, you could do 1. Increasing is plus, decreasing is minus. So it's always like that. You take whatever the original number is, you multiply by 1 plus or negative the percent. This is in case of increase, tax, tip. This is in case of reductions. All right. So now, here, number 10, the new TV was recently purchased for price of $459, including tax. If the tax is 2%, find the price, the original price, okay? We don't know what the price of TV is X, but we know that we should always take 2% of that and add it to itself. See, if whatever that number is, if you want to add a percentage of tax, you take that and multiply by percentage, add it, right? So this is like 1.02. X equal that. Now to find the X, you divide both sides by that. The salary of the president is $497,000. 3.1% raise. What's the new salary? Remember, 3.1% is what? 0.031. You multiply that by this and then add it to that. Or what's the easier step to do? You take 497,000 and instead of 0.031, you multiply that by 1.031. That should give you that 512,407. So you could combine these two into one if you want to. The last one, population is 54.5, and there is 8% decrease. What is 5.8%? 5.8% means what? Means 0.058. Remember, you take 5.8 divided by 100. When you take 5.8 divided by 100, ask you. You take that, you multiply by this, and then subtract, right? Or what you could do, because it's the reductions, You take 54.5 and multiply that by minus 1.031 instead of positive because it's a reductions, right? So it would be 54.5 times, what is 1 minus 0.031? 0.969, and when you take that and multiply by 54.5, that should give you that 51.3, okay? Which one am I doing? Oh, sorry. Here is for this one, right? Okay. Sorry that. This is 0.58, I'm sorry. 1 minus 0.058, 0.942, and that should give you 51.3. Sorry about that. Okay? All right, so that would be end of section 2.2.